How many methods we defined in our class? 4 methods. We defined 4 methods inside of this class now. Now, right now, we are consuming the methods from the same class by creating an instance. We are consuming the methods from the same class, right? By creating an instance, we are consuming the methods from the same class. But see, guys, you can even consume the members of a class from another class also. You can even consume the methods of a class from another class also. You can consume the members of a class from another class, basically. How can you consume? You can consume the members of a class from another class in 2 different ways. You can consume. You can consume the members of a class from another class in 2 different ways, actually. In 2 different ways you can consume. What are the 2 different ways you can just consume? The 2 different ways how you can just consume is, one is by using inheritance. One option is by using inheritance. We'll learn about it, guys. We will learn about the inheritance. But there is one way how you can consume. Second option is instance creation. Second option is instance creation. The second way, sorry. The second way how you can consume the members of a class from other classes by creating an instance. One way how you can consume is inheritance. And the second way how you can consume is by creating an instance. Okay. Inheritance, still we have a lot to understand about this before I start with inheritance. I will talk about inheritance, but I was telling before inheritance we just require to still understand so many other things. I'll come across the inheritance. The second way how you can consume the members of a class from other classes by creating an instance. We'll look into that process. How to consume the members of a class from another class by creating an instance. Okay, just a minute, please. Okay, so how we can just consume, let's just try to understand that. So 2 ways to consume, one is inheritance, second is instance creation. Inheritance, I'll tell you. Second one is instance creation. Watch. Let me add a new class in the project. I will name the new class as the test program. Any name here, no issue. Now in test program, you can create the instance of the program class text. You can create the instance of the program class and you can start calling the methods now. Again, see p.test1. p.test2. See, test2 method is dynamic. Yesterday, the test2 method, we are just used it to print the multiplication table of 7 up to 15. 7 up to 15. But today, I'm using this same thing to print the multiplication table of 8 up to 12. That's my choice. I can just use it in any way. Okay, next test3. How did we call the test3 method yesterday? String s1 is equals to p.test3. Afterwards, we have written console.writeLine s1. Guys, this is how we called it yesterday, remember? But see, without again declaring one variable and capturing the results. You can straight away write up the code like this. You can straight away write up the code like this. P dot test4. Test4 is dynamic. It will convert the given string into uppercase. Yesterday we given India there, and now I'm giving America. It will convert America into uppercase. Console dot read. Yeah, guys. You can just see now. I created the instance of the program class in test program, and I called up all the methods. So this is reusability. Right click on this and set you an option called edit project file. And here you just require to write what? Start object. Oops project dot. Our class name is test program. Is my voice not audible? Is it fine now? Is it fine now? Just guys, I'm not able to raise the voice more than that, guys. I'm not able to raise the voice more than that. I'm just, if I just try to raise my voice, I'm getting a cough. Just increase the volumes on your devices. Increase the volumes of your devices. Try using headphones. Try using some headphones and increase the volumes on your devices, guys. I set the volume completely high. It's completely high what I set it here. Yeah, I'm just going to run the test program. And you can watch. All the methods got executed here. You can see all the methods got executed here. Okay, so that's what. So basically, what I'm trying to teach you now. Yeah, read this, guys. Read this first. Read this motion. Read this. So what are we learning? Consuming the members of a class from another class. And if you want to consuming the members of a class from another class, you have two different ways of you can consume. The first option is inheritance and second option is instance creation. And what did I say? Array, we'll talk about inheritance. Inheritance, we have still a lot to understand. Before I take you to inheritance, I will talk about it. Meanwhile, I was talking about creating an instance. Okay, so what did we do? We just added a new class in the project with the name called test program. And in test program, we created the instance of the class program and started calling the methods of the program class. Am I clear, guys? Okay. Start there. I said you one point if you remember. When you are creating the instance of a class in another class, when you are creating the other page class by creating instance. What other page, Santoshi? I did not understand. Don't go to web applications, okay? Don't go to web application. We are just creating the instance of one class in another class and calling the methods. Understood? We are creating the instance of one class in another class. The instance of the program class is created in test program class. The instance of the program class is created in test program class. By creating the instance of the program class in test program, we called the methods of the program class in test program. That's what I have done. Am I clear, guys? Okay. Remember this one. When you're creating the instance of a class in another class, last class I explained you this if you recollect. When you're creating the instance of a class in another class, you can create that instance, create that particular instance either in the static block or the non-static block of the class also. I just said you that instance creation can be done either in a static or a non-static. Within the class, where to create, I said? Within the class. Within the class, I said you static block. Out of the class? Out of the class. Anywhere you can create. Out of the class, anywhere you can create it. Anywhere you can create it. You can create it into a static block. You can create it in a non-static block. So no matter anywhere that instance creation can be done out of the class. When you're creating within the class only, static block. Out of the class, anywhere it can be created. See there. Now I created the instance of the program class in test program under static block, under a static block. If I want, I can create that instance in a non-static block also. If I want, I can create that particular instance in a non-static block also. Okay, watch it. Watch it, guys. I'm writing another method here. Public void call method. A new method I'm defining in this class. Now, I am putting this code into this. Observe it. I created the instance of the program class in call methods in test program in a static or non-static block. I created it in a non-static block. That's what I'm telling you anywhere. But where did you write the code in call methods? You did write the code in the call methods. So you need to call this call methods first to execute the logic. Did you understand me? Now the logic won't execute. Why? Array, main method is implicitly called. Yesterday I said you, main method is implicitly called. If I write the logic in the main method is implicitly called and the logic will execute. But right now the logic is in main method or call methods are? Call methods. So until and unless I call methods, will the logic execute? See, if I run this, the logic won't execute now. It's not executing. I need to call methods. How to call methods? Call methods is present in where? Test program. So first you're required to create the instance of test program. And afterwards, you're required to call methods. And now the logic executes. You guys understand this? Execution starts from where? Execution starts from where? Execution starts from the main method. When the execution starts from the main method, guys, listen. When the execution starts from the main method, control will jump to execution starts with the main method. And once the execution starts with the main method, the instance of the current class is created. What is the current class? The test program. The current class instance is created. What is the current class? Test program. After that, it will call the call methods. It will call the call methods, and the control jumps to call methods. And call methods will now create the instance of program class and calls test1, and the control jumps to test1. Did you understand me? Yeah. Execution will start with main method. Once the execution starts with the main method, instance of the test program class is created. Okay, once the execution starts with main method, instance of the test program is created. And it is going to call methods. When it calls, just a minute, guys, just a minute. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah. Audible now? Okay. Now, again, I'm repeating. I'm repeating again. Execution will start from main method. Execution will start from main method. Instance of the current class is created. Then control jumps to call methods. And once the control jumps to call methods, instance of the program class is created and calls each and every method. Did you understand? You tell me now. Execution starts from where? Main. What will happen? What will happen there? What is happening? Instance is created. Which class? Which class? Current class. That is test program. Instance of the current class is created. That is test program. Okay? With that instance, what are you calling? Call methods. So control jumps to call methods. And in call methods, what is happening? Instance of program class is created first. First instance of program class is created. First instance of program class is created. And with that instance, the methods are called. Are you guys clear? Any confusion, guys? Okay. Whatever I said you, I will show you practically. Whatever I said you, I will show you practically. How? There is a concept called as debugging. There is a concept called as debugging. By using this debugging, you can watch the step-by-step execution of this code. There is a concept called as debugging, and by using this debugging, you can watch the step-by-step execution of your code. The complete step-by-step execution of the code from where it starts, where it ends, all the things you can watch, guys. You can just do that. Okay? So you can watch the step-by-step execution of the code by using this debugging. So how to debug the things? How to debug means, where exactly it starts execution? Without creating an instance, you cannot call a method. We need to create an instance to call a method. To call a method, we need to create an instance. Without creating an instance, we cannot call the method. Okay. So execution starts from here only now. So I want to just see how the execution takes place step by step now. So if to do that, we require to first place a breakpoint, guys. We require to place a breakpoint first. How to place a breakpoint? So this is the first statement in my main method. Put the cursor there, and hit F9. And hit F9. When you do that, a breakpoint is created. See that the red line is going to be a breakpoint. Okay? So it is just going to create you a breakpoint for you there. And once the breakpoint is created, what will happen, the execution will stop for you on that line. Once the breakpoint is created, the execution will stop for you on that particular line. So to watch that, run the program. To watch that, run the program, guys. How? F5. Hit F5 and run the program. Execution stops on that line. Why execution is stopping on that line? Because there is a breakpoint created. Are you guys clear? Because there is a breakpoint created, execution will stop on that line now. It's not executing. Now you can watch the line by line execution now. Now you can watch the line by line execution. The line by line execution of the code you can watch. How? How can I watch the line boolean execution of the code? If at all you want to watch the line boolean execution of the code, press F10. F10. What is it? F10. F10 means it is called as step over. It is called as step over, and it will take you to the next line. It is called as step over, and it will take you to the next line. Step over. Okay, just watch F10. F10. Now see, instance of the class is created, and the control is going to call methods. Watch it, guys. It went to call methods. Okay, the control went to call methods. See the output, nothing is executed. Why? The control went to call methods and now it has to execute call methods. Call methods is not executed. That's why no output. Again, F10, again F10. The control went from call methods to read line. This call methods execution is completed or not? Call methods execution is completed or not? Completed, no? Why not? Completed. Because it is completed, see the output. Because the execution is completed, you are able to see the output now. One more time I'll show you, watch. One more time I will show you, watch. See, observe it. Execution did not start now. So start the execution. Once you start the execution, see, it went to test program and there's no output on the monitor. Instance is created. There is no output on the monitor. Call methods execution completed. You can see the output on the monitor. Guys, how did I place a breakpoint? How did I place a breakpoint? Tell me, guys. F9. Perfect. F9. Okay. How did I start the debugging? How did I start the debugging? F5. F5. I started debugging by hitting F5. Okay. How did I go to next line? F10. F10. We call it as toggle breakpoint. We call it as a step over. We call that as a step over. We just go to the next line by clicking it. We call that as step over. Step over. It'll go to the next line. It'll take you to the next line basically. Without debugging, don't place a breakpoint, directly run, it will execute off. That's all. If you don't want to debug, directly F5. No breakpoint, nothing. Simply F5 will execute off the program. Okay, fine. Now, actually, in this process, are we able to see what is happening inside the call methods? In this process, are we able to see what is happening inside the call methods? I wanted to see what is happening inside the call methods. I wanted to see what is happening inside the call methods. Inside the call methods, what is happening? I wanted to see now. Are you clear? I wanted to see what is happening inside of the call methods. Okay, if that is the case, okay, watch again. Again, F5, start the execution. Now, how to go to next line? How to go to next line? F10. F10. Okay. Now, if I press F10, it will come to read line, right? If I press F10, it will come to read line, right? But without pressing F10, press F11. Guys, without pressing F10, press F11. F11 means step into. Now it will step into the method. Watch it, guys. It came into that method. Now watch. It came into that method. F11 will bring you to that. We call it as a step into. Now see, if you want to go to next line, F10. If you want to go to next line, it is F10. F10 will take you to next line. See, what happened? Program class instance created. Again, see, till now there is no output. Now again, see, F10. Execution of the test1 method completed, see. Are you clear? Again, F10. Right line completed. Now, do you want to see what is happening inside the test2? Do you want to see what is happening inside the test2? Come on, if you want to see what is happening inside the test2, what should I put? F11. F11 will take you into the method. See now, showing you line by line execution of the code now. After coming here again F10 only. After coming here again F10 only, guys. See, condition checking and printing it. See that one time print it. Again, incrementing I, checking the condition, again executing. Are you clear? Incrementing, checking the condition, again executing. So now, see this, guys. This place a breakpoint at line number 180, that's all. Place a breakpoint at line number 180, the control will jump up there. Raju, understood? Yeah, 2 breakpoints. Yes. Multiple breakpoints. Okay, guys. See now. The method, see in this process, you can see the values. What is the X value? If you put your mouse there, it will show you X value, see. What is the UB value? UB value 12. Currently, what is the I value? Currently, I value is 3. And it executes until 12, right? It executes until 12, right? Or it's executing until 12. But see, to execute until 12, it will execute until 12, but I require to click on F10, 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 F10 for that many number of times now. See, first time increments, second time condition check, third time prints a value. Means to print one line, 3 times I require to click F10. Are you following me? So like this, until the execution is completed, I require to keep on hitting the F10 now. Until the execution is completed, I require to keep on hitting the F10 now. Okay. You can simplify this. You can simplify this. You can simplify this basically. How? You can simplify this. How you can simplify? Means I just want to come out of this method now. I understood the execution of the method and I want to come out of this particular method. Guys, listen. I understood the execution of this method and I want to come out of this method. If that is the case, it is shift F11. Shift F11. Guys, shift F11. It comes out of the method. Directly it came out at the method C and execution is completed. Watch. Are you clear? And right now, still debugging did end or debugging did not end? Debugging is ended or debugging did not end? Debugging did not end still. Debugging is going on. If at all you want to end off the debugging, again F5. If at all you want to end off the debugging, again F5. Debugging end of C. If you want to end the debugging, simply say F5 again. F5 again will end off the debugging. So here you'll be confusing like what are the commands I used. Can you tell me guys, what are the shortcuts I used? What is the use of F11? Tell me, Raju. F11, what is F11 I said you? Step into. Shift F11 is step out. Shift F11 is step out. Guys, you don't require to remember all these things. Watch it, place a breakpoint, start the debugging. Go to debug menu, you'll find all the shortcuts here. F10, F11, Shift F11, F9, continue. You'll find all the shortcut keys in the list. Are you guys clear? See, basically one more thing. I had a breakpoint here. I had a breakpoint here. I had multiple breakpoints. Yeah. Yes, Raju. Multiple breakpoints. See, run the code. It stopped it here. It stopped it here. Again, if I press F5, it will come to next breakpoint. Again, if I press F5, it will come to next breakpoint. Did you understand? I have 3 breakpoints. F5 stops at the first breakpoint. This is the first breakpoint. F5, second breakpoint. F5, third breakpoint. Understood? This is what you asked. Someone asked this question. I have 1,000 lines of code. From line number 10, I want to jump to line number 100. You can place a breakpoint wherever you want. Okay. So right now, if I want to remove, I have 3 breakpoints in my code. I have 3 breakpoints. If I start the execution, will it stop at the breakpoints or not? I have 3 breakpoints in the code. If I start the execution, will it start at the breakpoints or not? No. Why no? Where are you? Yeah. You stop at the breakpoints now. If at all you start now, it will stop at the breakpoint. If at all you just say start means it will stop at the breakpoints. Every breakpoint it will stop. I want to execute the code without stopping at the breakpoints. I want to execute the code without stopping at the breakpoints. It should not stop at the breakpoints. Control F5. Guys, Control F5. Control F5. If errors are there, compiler will show you errors. Why execution will start? If errors are there, execution won't start at all, na? Samata. If errors are there, compiler will tell you the errors here. Execution will not start at all first. Okay, so that's it. That's it. How it is just going to run the things to you. Okay. See, debugging. Debugging, what I explained you right now is a very, very important thing, guys. Tomorrow, when you want to understand the logic, it's a very, very important thing tomorrow when you want to understand the logic. Tomorrow, when you just want to understand some complex logics, debugging is the great mechanism how you can understand the logic. Someone implements some logic you did not understand. If you place a breakpoint, you can understand the logic completely now. If you place a breakpoint, you can understand the logic completely now. If you want to understand the logic, you just require to go for placing a breakpoint. Is my point clear? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. To fix errors, to understand the logics, debugging is a very crucial thing. If you can debug your project perfectly, you can easily find out where the error is. Today, tomorrow, runtime errors will come. We'll talk about runtime errors later. Runtime errors will come. Because in the middle of the program execution, some 1,000 lines of code you've written. So somewhere error comes. When error comes, program will abnormally terminate. How do I know where the error is? Debugging will help you. Debugging will help you in finding out where exactly the error is. Are you clear, guys? Okay. So just practice this debugging very well. And one more thing all of you do. What now? Actually, it is out of the syllabus, but for the convenience of the students, because the interviews point of view, these questions will be asked in the interviews. Tomorrow, as a fresher, if you go for an interview, they'll ask you write a program to find out the prime numbers, to print the prime numbers, Fibonacci series. These type of programs they'll ask you. So that's why for the convenience of the students, starting at page number 132, guys. Starting at page number 132, guys, watch all of you. I've given you some logical programs. Open a new project. Open one new project. You understood how to create a project now? And start writing each and every program. First program, a prime number test. Write a program to print the given number is a prime number or not. Write this code. Place a breakpoint and start debugging the code. Place a breakpoint, start debugging the code and analyze the code on yourself. Target one program every day. Target one program every day. All of you. Target one program. One day, one program. Just to focus on one program one day, that's all. Okay? You should be in such a way, you need to understand the logic in such a way, guys. Tomorrow, you should be in a position to write the code without looking at the notes. Okay, now? You should be in a position to write the code without looking at the note. Tomorrow you go to an interview, interviewer asks you write a program to find out a prime number. You should be writing the program now. That's what I'm telling you. Don't focus on multiple things. One program, one day, that's all. And all the logics are implemented here. without using any built-in functions. Without using any built-in functions, all manual logicking, manual logic, how logics, manual logics have written for you. Swapping two programs, different ways of writing the code, how to reverse a number, how to convert a number to binary, palindrome number, Fibonacci series, factorial, Armstrong number, sum of digits, how to convert a number to string, how to find out whether the number year is a leap year or not, how to find out the large number in an array, how to perform a string reverse, to count the number of words in a string, length of a string. It is very one important program, guys. Very, very important. They'll ask you tomorrow, can you find out the length of a string? Can you find out the length of a string? Actually, to find out the length of a string class directly gives you a property called the length. There is a length property available. Okay, but without using that length property, without using that particular length property, we are going to find out the length here. Okay, number of characters in a string. How to reverse words, how to convert a string to lowercase, how to convert a string to uppercase, how to convert a string to Pascal case, how to find out the unique characters in a string, duplicate characters in a string, how to convert a number to Roman number. Still pattern programs, see, different pattern programs, printing like a this patterns. I've given you nearly some 40 to 50 programs to you for you to practice, guys. Sorting algorithms, bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, shell sort, quick sort. Okay, nearly some 20 to 20 pages, nearly some 20 pages of programs I just given to you here for you to practice. Okay, so all these things, if you can practice perfectly, if you practice all these particular things perfectly, you can easily crack the interviews. Am I clear? You can easily crack the interviews tomorrow if at all you're just going to okay, guys? So just practice. And in the process, just telling you, to understand the logic, the only mechanism you have is debugging. So debugging, how effective you can debug the code, that much good programmer you will become. Understood my point? How effective you can debug the code, that good programmer you will become. Okay, so just go for Okay, guys. So just go through them, how you will do. And here you have all the. Now we want to remove the breakpoints. If at all you just wanted to remove these particular breakpoints here. So you have placed a set of breakpoints, and if at all you want to remove all these particular breakpoints here, you can just again go to debug menu here, and you can just find out delete all breakpoints. Control plus Shift plus F9. All the breakpoints are deleted. Okay. Means what show program C.cs and explain? What do you mean by that? What should I explain? Wherever you want to place a breakpoint, place there. That's all. I placed it here. You want to place in program, place it in program. F9. Start the execution. That's all. Okay, guys. Look at this. What are you doing here? Guys, what are you doing here? If you want to remove only one breakpoint, guys, if you want to remove one breakpoint, say, just someone asked the question, how to remove one breakpoint. If you want to remove one breakpoint, just simple, again F9 only. So you have a breakpoint there now. You have a breakpoint there now. Again go there, F9 will remove that breakpoint. Okay. If you want to remove one breakpoint, F9 will remove that breakpoint. Okay. Yeah. You're creating an instance. And with that instance, you're calling the method. Now look at this code here. The code in the left-hand side, the code in the right-hand side. Which one is responsible for instance creation? The code in the left-hand side, the code in the right-hand side. Which one is responsible for instance creation? Right-hand side, perfect. Yesterday I said, you remember a new keyword is important? Yesterday I said, you have to create an instance, new keyword is important. Then what is the use of the left-hand side code? What is the use of the left-hand side code? The left-hand side code basically is actually, the left-hand side code basically is actually is to give a name to that instance. The left-hand side code actually is to give a name for that instance. For that instance, we require a name now. To give a name to that instance, we just use the left-hand side code. And the right-hand side code, the right-hand side code will be creating the instance, and the left-hand side code is just going to give a name to that instance. Okay. Now, tell me, will this create an instance? Yes, yeah, that will create an instance. Array, just now you said right-hand side code is important for creating an instance, and again you're telling no, that will create an instance. But the problem is, the instance doesn't have a name. The instance doesn't have a name. Okay, the instance doesn't have a name now. Instance creation will be done, but that instance doesn't have a name. If it doesn't have a name now, how can I call methods? You cannot write TP is equals to. You cannot write directly TP is equals to. That is wrong. What is TP? You can write like this again. You can write like this again, where TP is equals to, where implicitly typed. Okay? Yeah, leave it. This will create an instance, but the instance doesn't have a name, right? When the instance doesn't have a name, I cannot call the method on it. I cannot call a method on it. Am I correct? I can call it like this, guys. Did you understand? I can call it like this. Execute C. We generally call this as unnamed instance, unnamed instances. And generally, these type of unnamed instances are used when you want to use it only for one time. Means when you want the instance only for one time, when you want to use this instance only for one time, in such scenarios, we go for using the unnamed instances. Yeah. If you want to call another method, again, you require to write it again. If you want to call another method, you require to write it again. So that's where what I'm telling you is, don't use this when you want to call multiple methods. Don't use this process when you want to call multiple methods. Don't follow this process when you want to call multiple methods. See, in this scenario, don't use that process. Instance won't destroy immediately. It won't destroy. Guys, look at that. If I follow that process here, for every method call, one instance will be created. Did you understand me? For every method, one instance will be created. You're calling 4 methods. So how many instances are created? Respond here. 4 instances are created. Memory is allocated 4 times. Memory is allocated for 4 times. So that's where, in that type of scenarios, don't follow this. When you want to call only one method, then go for using this unnamed instances. Rate this. Are you clear? Okay. So that's basically about unnamed instances and how do we use the unnamed instances in our code. Don't use it all the times. Use it only when you want to call single methods. Guys, this is about the instance creations and all. Okay. Practice properly. Read each and every point. Practice it properly. Practice debugging mainly. Practice debugging mainly. And from today onwards, I've given you a task to all of you. I've given a task for all of you. What is it? You should be familiar with one program one day. I've given you so many programs to you in the last. Every day, just go through one program. One program, just become perfect. Okay, now? So tomorrow, I will talk more about these methods here. These are methods. I will explain about each and everything about these particular methods in the tomorrow's class. Like what is this ref, out, params, all these things. I'll give you an explanation in the tomorrow session. Okay? I don't know, Vikas. I'm not focusing on any of this particular thing.